This is Coach Lee, and in this video, I'm going to share with you some signs to recognize if your ex misses you or not. Take a quick second and click the subscribe button below so that you can be notified when I have more videos like this, and that includes videos on attraction, relationships, breakups, marriage, and mindfulness. If you've been broken up with and you're using the no contact rule and you're following some of my videos as far as what to do to try to get your ex back, to give you the best chance to get your ex back, then you're probably wondering if your ex is missing you. And that's fine. In fact, you're probably looking for signs, wanting something to just jump out at you that tells you that your ex is missing you and that there's hope that you two can get back together. Some coaches will tell you to stop that. I'm not going to tell you to stop that because that's ridiculous. If you're in love with someone, if you love someone and they break up with you and you want to be with this person and you're hoping they come to their senses and realize your place in their life, it's perfectly normal that you're going to be looking to see. Because whether or not you move on with your life, you just let this go, you're trying to make that decision. And some people say that you should do it right away. You can't just flick a switch when you have love for someone. You can't just turn it off. If you can, you're actually mentally and emotionally unhealthy. If you can just turn a switch, just flick a switch, and your feelings go away for this person, and you don't love them anymore, and you can just move on unscathed and feel fine, that's actually not a good thing. Sometimes we wish that it was possible because it would be easier. You wouldn't be hurting. But that would make you basically something lesser than what you were created to be as a human. And so it's fine to pay attention and to see if there are signs that your ex misses you and hopefully wants to get back together with you. And I'm going to go over a few of those. The first one that you will see if there's a really good shot that your ex is missing you and wants to get back together with you is that your ex misses intimacy with you. And yes, that's actually a sign of your ex missing you, is if they miss intimacy with you. So what is intimacy? Am I talking about making love and physical romance? Well, yes, that's part of it. But intimacy is when you share yourself with someone, where you open yourself up. There's no secrets. You just completely show yourself to someone. And that's not just physically, that's emotionally, where you tell them about the hurts. You tell them about your past, the facts and the feelings of your life. And that happens over time. And when you've shared moments and you've been part of great times with this person, there's intimacy surrounding that as well. Just knowing what's going on with someone's life day to day, that is intimacy. And so you are probably missing that. You're wanting to know what's going on with your ex. That's because you're missing intimacy. Did he get the job? How's her mother doing? And a lot of times people will say, I just want to know if they're okay. And I joke and say, you know what? Check the obituaries, and if they're not in there, then they're okay. But that's you missing intimacy. And really, you don't want them to be okay. You want them to be struggling with this breakup so that they'll want you back. But if your ex is missing intimacy with you and you say, well, how do you know? Well, a lot of times that's when they actually reach out to you and ask, how are you doing? Or what's the news on this? How's this going? Or even a simple, what did you do today? Is a sign that they miss intimacy with you. And your ex can be sneaky about this. They can go to your friends and ask about you, kind of check up on you. And I don't mean just, is he okay? Or is she doing okay? Which can simply be pity. I'm talking about specific details. What's going on with XYZ? Things that matter, and just day to day. What's he up to? What's she up to? And really wanting to know. When your ex really wants to know these things, they are missing intimacy with you. That important part where they feel that they are connected and that they can see into you and you can see into them, and you accept each other for those things, and you're a part of those things because you have intimate knowledge of this person. And so that is a terrific sign that your ex is missing you, and that they, maybe not every moment, maybe not every day, but that they are considering whether or not the breakup was a mistake, whether or not they want to get back together with you. Again, I've told you, you need to be patient. This is not something that happens overnight, mostly because they didn't come to this conclusion. They didn't decide the breakup overnight. And so even if they think that they definitely want to get back together with you, especially if they're a mature person, They're going to move slowly because they don't want to get back together with you and then break up with you again. They know it hurt you. They know it hurt them. And they don't want to just rush into it if they're not certain. And so a lot of this is that they are trying to make sure that this is not just weakness or this is not just momentary, but that they really want to get back together with you. And so your patience is best here for your chances and for both of you, because if you start pushing and rushing, that's when they will back off. So even if your ex is reaching out, do not push. Do not say, so have you been thinking you want to get back together, or do you want to try things again? Don't ask the question. Stay in the moment. Enjoy the experience with them, the conversation with them, whatever it is, and let them be the ones to come towards you. That way they don't feel any pushing and they're not tempted to run away again or say, you know what, forget it, and back off. And some of you have probably experienced that, where it seems like it's going great and maybe you two are about to get back together, and then you might go to areas in the conversation that are too intimate, too romantic. You push a little bit. Maybe you've mentioned if we get back together and say those things, and all of a sudden you don't hear from them, or they back off, or they seem cold. And that's where they just feel a little bit of push from your end. And they don't need that right now because they're already on the other side as far as where the middle range would be of you two wanting to be together. They're on the opposite side because you've pushed a little, which is natural after a breakup, or simply because they assume you want to get back together with them because they were the one who broke up with you. And so they are considerably on the other side. What you want to have happen is for them to come back to where you two are face to face on this scale, so to speak. And that will take some time. And if you cross over that middle line to where you're more interested than they are, that's when they can start running away again. So keep that in mind. Another sign that your ex is missing you and possibly wanting to get back together with you is that your ex cannot stop communicating with you. And this is a great problem to have, and a lot of people mention it in the comments here on YouTube. They'll say, what do you do? How do you do no contact if your ex won't stop texting you or calling you or whatever? And that's a terrific problem to have, because it means that they are missing you. Most likely, it means that they're missing you and they're considering getting back together with you because they just can't stay away, which is a great lesson for them to learn for the future. For next time you two might have issues or attraction falls a little bit, which is normal, it happens. And you can watch my video on limerence to understand why the newness of a relationship will bring about all these fireworks and passion and emotion, and then it seems to slowly fade. And then we get tempted to be with other people because it's new again. And we get to have those chemicals associated with limerence. So take a look at my video on that. I'll link to that in the description below. But that will happen. And relationships will have dips in attraction and emotional fireworks. And that's normal. And your ex needs to learn that lesson, that just because that happens, it doesn't mean they bail out. Not everyone has experience. Not everyone knows exactly what to do with life. And so sometimes mistakes are made. So give your ex a little bit of grace if you want them back. And if they are communicating with you and just can't stay away, that's a great sign that they are wanting you back. And you just need to stay patient, and it may take some time. And you need to decide if you're willing to invest that time and wait, which a lot of times that's the healthiest thing for you to do, is to give yourself a break too. You don't want to just jump back into the dating world, or else you begin to start to flick that switch where you become a person who can stop loving someone or stop having romantic special feelings for someone and just turn them on for another person. That takes time because you kind of have to warp yourself. You kind of have to rewire the circuitry of how you're made, and it becomes unhealthy. It really does. You want to be able to have committed relationships where this person becomes family and where you can't just toss them aside. You don't want that from them, and you don't want to be that person either. And so it's good for you to take a break, to center, and to heal emotionally, spiritually inside of you, so that you can be romantic with someone, hopefully your ex, but it could be someone else, again, because that's what's best for you. And so you shouldn't just jump into the dating scene again, even though, yes, some people will suggest that you do that. I don't suggest you don't ever do it, but I do suggest you take some time and a break from this relationship to recenter, recalibrate. And it also shows your ex that you're a mature person and that you're not just simply going to jump back out there again which can show them, if they're considering getting back together with you, that maybe that's not a good decision because maybe they didn't mean that much to you, or the relationship didn't mean that much to you. And that's just not an attractive thing if someone is looking for a mature, committed relationship. And yes, I get it. It's ironic to mention that since your ex is the one who broke up with you. But be bigger than your ex. Be more mature than your ex. Demonstrate higher value and let your ex see that. Take a quick second and click the subscribe button below. If this video is sounding good to you and making sense to you, please click the like button. And you are certainly welcome to leave a comment here and other people here. And sometimes I will be able to answer some of those. But again, subscribe, like, comment. And also take a look at my emergency breakup kit. It's a guide to get your ex back, and it's based on my 20 years in the relationship recovery service. So that's the emergency breakup kit, and it's linked to in the description below. Let's get on with the video. Sign number 3 that your ex misses you is that they keep pictures of you two together on social media. And maybe it's just a few, or maybe it's just one picture, but your ex just doesn't delete them. And there's strong reasons for this. It's not just simply convenience. A lot of times it's that your ex still feels that connection, and it almost feels like that deleting your picture, a picture of the two of you together, would be symbolic of an end. It would be almost like deleting the relationship, and they're just not ready to do that. That's a terrific thing if you want your ex back. So if they keep pictures of you two and you're wondering what that means, well, usually it means that they do still miss you and that they haven't fully closed the door, or at least they've reopened it. And so if you see that, if you notice that your ex leaves one picture of you two together or lots of pictures of you two together, it's a great sign. It should be encouraging if you want your ex back, that they probably miss you. Sign number 4 that your ex probably misses you is if they review and reminisce about memories you two shared, and they share these things with your friends. In other words, they're saying, I remember when we went to this place together and it was so wonderful. I remember us doing this. I remember us talking about this, or watching this movie together, or our first kiss, or whatever. But they review these wonderful memories with other people, and you find out about it. There's a reason that they're reviewing these things. It's because they miss you, they miss them. And there's also an element of the first reason I mentioned in this video, the first sign that I mentioned, which is that they miss intimacy with you. And so they're remembering, they're reflecting on these moments, and they're missing them, or else they wouldn't want to review them. They wouldn't want to keep talking about them, because in some ways they get to experience them again by talking about them, but they also actually miss you more by talking about them. So if you find out that they're talking to your friends about this, about these things, it's a great sign. Another way you can know if your ex is missing you is if they spy on you through other people. In other words, they will ask people, does he talk about me? Does he ever mention me? Does she ever ask how I'm doing? They're curious. They're wanting to know if you are over them, if you're moving on, if you're ready to just get this out of the way and start dating someone else. They're curious about that, and there's a reason that they're curious about that. If you're doing no contact, you know the stages, and I'll link to my video about that in the description below, called Stages Your Ex Goes Through During No Contact. And you'll be able to determine what stage they're in if they're wondering about those things. But that's part of the process. When they are not hearing from you and they get over that first stage, which is relief, that's when they start trying to figure out what you're doing. And they start wondering if you're going to move on, or if you already have. And that's when they realize they could lose you. It goes from them being the one to dismiss you to them wondering if they could get you back, if they wanted you back. You see, they're just toying with the idea. They're not sure yet. But what they are concerned about is that they could be in a place, and they might see themselves going that way, or even feeling like they are there now, but being in a place where they could want you back and could not get you back. And that's when they really have to seriously consider reality, because right after the breakup, they feel like they could get you back easily, and so they have all this borrowed time. They can just get you back whenever they want. They can figure that out another day. But when they start being concerned and wondering if you're talking about them or mentioning them, wondering if you've forgotten them, that's when it's really hitting them and the breakup is becoming real to them. So that would be a great sign. Sign number 6 that your ex misses you is if they make excuses to see you. And by excuses, I mean things that are silly, like that they need you to come help them with something. Would you please just come help me with this? I don't know who else to ask. And it's something really simple and stupid, like changing a light bulb. or getting their cat down from a cabinet. Just something that doesn't really seem like you're the only person in the world who could help. That maybe there's somebody else who could help, or maybe they could actually do it on their own. And they didn't really think about if it would look obvious to you or not, and they might not have even cared. They just wanted to see you. And usually, if they make some kind of excuse like that, they want to see you. Because if they didn't want to see you, if they were just completely through with the relationship, they would find somebody else to help, or they would do it themselves. They wouldn't want you to make any kind of appearance back into their life, even if it was something simple like that. So some of those little shallow excuses, you're the only one who can help me fix my TV, just something like that, that you know better. You do know better, and your ex misses you. If your ex shows jealousy, and this is what's baffling to so many of you, is that your ex will break up with you and then they'll get mad that you're talking to a potential romantic partner. And they'll ask your friends, is he talking to another girl? And it's bothering them, and they're showing jealousy. Or maybe they're upset that you're talking with somebody on social media. Who knows? You know what jealousy looks like. If they are upset or concerned that you are around someone they see as a potential romantic partner, that's jealousy. If your ex is demonstrating that in any way whatsoever, they're not done yet. And that's a sign that they miss you. So I've gone over several signs that your ex potentially misses you. Some of them are stronger than others, but they are all encouraging and important. Take a second and click the subscribe button below if you appreciated this video. You can also leave me a tip. I have a link to my tip jar, and you can leave me $1 million. Whatever you feel is fair, based on the value you received from this video or my other videos. Please click the like button below if you appreciated this video as well. As always, you can see free articles and videos on how to get your ex back and how to have great relationships at myexbackcoach.com. This has been Coach Lee, and as always, thank you for watching.